Joe Gordon, Vice President of Technology, Deka, Lash.
Before you started working with MergeYourData, what was your situation?
So there's a couple problems that we were trying to solve when we started looking for a vendor. We had some legacy systems that were in place for AI, and it required transferring of data from one system to another through a variety of integration platforms. And the person who had originally set that up had transitioned out of the company. So when we came in, we needed some support around that. And so we got in touch with Dan, who was very familiar, came in, highly recommended on those particular systems. So that was pretty helpful on that legacy system side. And then that evolved into helping us solve other problems around accessing data from our point of sale system and being able to not only access it, but define rules and extract it in a way that would fit our data needs. And so he helped us pull that data. He gave us special dashboards that we can use, and then also work with one of our other vendors to transfer that data via API so it can be ingested in that system for a KPI reporting tool. So it really helped put the plumbing in place and also getting the data that we needed to get those insights that we needed to make those decisions.
What was the negative impact on you and Deka, Lash based on the situation you just described?
So the first one was the legacy system that had to do with clients being able to book appointments using an automated text messaging platform. And if the plumbing wasn't in place there could be a breakdown, and our clients wouldn't either be able to have a good experience booking or be able to reach our call center to call back. Various avenues in that flow could potentially break down. If we're not able to get all the data that we need in an effective way, then it was just super labor intensive or just not accessible to give us these operational pictures that we need to make decisions. So it was very laborious, but now that we were able to pull this data in, it gave us just a better picture, not only for us at the corporate level, but some of that information is being used to go into our KPI system that the franchisees have access to in a way that they haven't had access to that data before.
That's awesome. Yeah. What were your thoughts going through the process to solve this situation, the two situations that you described? Any doubts, negative emotions, I guess questioning whether or not it was going to get done and have the impact that you thought?
We also needed to get data out of the point of sale system to be put into our marketing CRM platform so that we could do a variety of different marketing campaigns. The first part of the project was being able to extract all the pertinent properties and attributes that we need from client information and getting it over there so that the CRM platform can be set up. And we needed help scoping this project, understanding what attributes we can get. We needed help understanding our point of sale provider. They came up with a new method of providing us information, what's called a parquet file. So we needed someone to help understand that and understand how to navigate that to get the information needed to support this marketing lifecycle program. And so we searched several vendors, and we wanted to make sure we had the right solution provider in place to help us do this project. And the relationship that we had, the trust that was built there, and that ended up being the right path because that data is now extracted and made available. So it's ready to go there. So that was the third problem. So, post that, as we have more data needs emerge, we would continue to partner with them.
So if you had to describe where are you at right now then compared to what you described those three situations before, just where you're at and what can you do now that you weren't able to do before?
We are in a much better spot now with access to our data to fulfill certain needs. So prior to engaging with Dan and his team at MergeYourData, we had very limited access to the data in my time in a meaningful way that could help us with our KPIs. We didn't have a resource in place that could quickly resolve issues for the text messaging based booking platform that we need. And similarly, we couldn't quickly access the data we needed to power the needs for the marketing lifecycle program. We now have access to data that we use to power our KPI tool and other visual dashboards. And we have all of the client information and attributes from our point of sale system that's needed to support the marketing lifecycle needs.
From the KPI dashboard standpoint, has that data that's accessible now resulted in any major benefits or gains for the company? Maybe insights that you haven't been able to see before, or problems that have surfaced and can now be resolved because that data is there?
Yeah. I mean, there's 3 KPIs in particular that we now have access to that we never had access to before. One of the major KPIs for our company is membership conversions. And in order to track that, you need to know how many new appointments you have and how many of those were converted into members. And we don't want to look at all appointments. We just want a subset of those new appointments that meet certain parameters. And so in working with Dan, we were able to extract the specific subset of new appointments that we wanted to look at to know exactly how many of those opportunities we had, how many of those converted into members. And now we have a membership conversion percentage off of that subset that we want to look at. In addition to that, what we also want to look at is membership cancellation percentage. Obviously, our goal is to keep members, as members as long as possible and delivering them a good and valuable service. And so it's important for us to monitor our cancellation percentage and keep it below a certain amount. There's a percentage that was calculated within our point of sale system. We didn't necessarily know how that was fully being calculated because while it gave us a percentage, it didn't give us the exact number of members that were canceled. And so now, in working with Dan, we were able to extract here specifically how many members were canceled in a particular month for a particular studio. So that's a lot of clarity in knowing how to calculate a reliable and consistent cancellation percentage.
Yeah, I appreciate you diving into that.
Mhm.
And then last question here. What would you tell someone who is watching this right now and is unsure about taking the next step?
Take the next step. You're not gonna, you won't solve any problem without taking action. And the question is, are you gonna, is the right step with Dan and his team? I would certainly recommend him to somebody else looking to do, these types of projects. It's been professional. He's been responsive. He's worked within like our systems and tooling to help manage projects. He's partnered with us on everything from scoping projects, looking at other vendors, working with multiple departments within our organization, and provided value, not just delivering, but helping us, look at some of this stuff strategically to move forward. So far, everything we've needed has been done. So, take the next step, but would definitely encourage you to look at MergeYourData.
Perfect. Cool. Well, I appreciate it, Joe.